Hi, dreamers. We're getting to the end of the year, and the cumulative chart is looking more and more interesting as this month I eclipsed the $75,000 I made in dividends last year. Wow. In fact, a couple of months ago, I asked you where you thought I'd end up with dividends and options, and 44% of you thought I would end up between $135,000 to $145,000. And another 26% thought it would be between $146,000 and $155,000, and the remainder thinking it would be above $156,000. So in this episode, I'll tell you where I think I will end up for the year. And I want to take this week's episode to remind you during this volatile time of why I like being a dividend investor and how it can help you through tough times like this mentally. So let's get to it. Today I'll review the end of the month totals where I show you my dividend income in detail and the added income from options. And of course, I have not added any new active income money to my portfolio. And this month I made over $10,700. So let's take a look. Okay, here we are in the spreadsheet, and you can see I had $10,708.72 in October of 2023. And that compares to the same basket of stocks in July, which produced $10,380. So getting into the detail, you can see about $1,800 in week 1, and then the big weeks, week 2 and 3, of $4,500 and just above $3,000. So the detail looks something like this. The month kicked off with PTY, which is my monthly bond fund, giving me about $480, followed by QQQX, which is kind of like the old school, original JEPQ and JEPE, giving me about $200. I got 2 of the 4 payments I get from Devo at $85.81, a couple of small payouts from growth stocks, so about $7 from GPC, and another $7 from McKesson, which is definitely one of my favorite growth stocks right now. I got about $5 from ADP and just over $100 from SLF, Sun Life Financial. I got $30 from Tullis and about $23 from Maine, which is a position I've been growing and building up slowly. And then here you can see my $900 payment from JEPQ, which on the positive side, it happens every single month. And on the negative side, it's a variable payout, so you don't quite know exactly what you're going to get. But with payouts between 10 and 11%, I'm pretty happy with JEPQ, especially because it's been holding its value as well. So then moving into week 2, you can see this monster payout that I got from Mo, $3,000. And you probably noticed that Mo got hit pretty hard lately. And I might even do a dedicated video just about Mo and my recent thoughts about it. So be on the lookout for that. I got $467 from Philip Morris, $62 from Getty, which is a REIT, just over $50 from GSK, $360 from IIPR, and that's the marijuana REIT. I got $270 from my good old friend Ben, and just about $313 from ticker symbol O, which I recently did a dedicated video on about my views with realty income, so you might want to check that out. And then I got $14 from the snack food company Mondelez, which gets us into week 3. I got just over $2,065 from BCE, and $68 from FRT. I also got almost $290 from WPC, which recently spun off a part of their business into the NLOP stock, which I promptly sold because it was filled with office properties, and I was not interested in holding their dedicated office property stock, that's for sure. I got just under $65 from Stag, another $20 from Maine, almost $16 from CAH, and $11 from Cube. I got $825 from APLE, over $567 from STWD, and just over $74 from all of the Yield Max funds that I'm holding currently, with my biggest positions in AMZY and APLY. And in my mind, the jury is definitely still out on these. So that brings us to the last couple of weeks where I got just under $17 from Cisco, just under $100 from Canadian Imperial, almost $600 from BNS, and both of these are Canadian banks. Another $123 from Devo, which I've been adding to quite a bit lately. $146 from BDJ, which is a monthly payer, and almost $125 from BST. And then a very small starter position in SPY, as I consider building that up in order to option. Which I guess is a good segue to talk about my options. And here you can see I got really aggressive in July, where I made over $8,000 in options, but then started to back off in September and October as the market got very volatile, and I didn't want to be caught with my pants down. Which brings me to my cumulative income chart. And as you know, in 2022 I made $75,000 in dividends. And in 2021, I made just over $51,000 in dividends. And so here we are in October 2023, and I've made over $80,130 in dividends thus far this year, which eclipses what I made in dividends all last year. Isn't that incredible? With no added active income. But the yellow line is my dividends plus options income. And year to date, I've made over $124,000. And so at the rate I'm going, I would guess that I'll make between $145,000 to $150,000 this year in investment income, which means dividends plus options plus interest. And I tell you what, if you had told me that I was going to double my investment income last year from $75K to $150K, I would never have believed you. And I wouldn't have known how that was going to happen. So it kind of makes me excited for next year. Could it be possible that I could go from $150,000 to $300,000? Probably not. But what if I could make it to $200K? That makes me think that potentially financial independence could be drawing nearer for me. Of course, if you're following me closely, you know there's a couple of wild cards in my future. So really, it's anyone's guess. I wonder how you are doing as we're now getting really close to the end of the year, and you probably have a good idea of what your projection will be for the year. Let me know in the comments. I'd be very interested to know. Okay, so let's talk about our feelings right now as our portfolios are collectively down probably quite a bit, despite this little rally we're having this week. I just wanted to remind you why I love being a dividend investor and how it can help you through times like this, both mentally and emotionally. The first reason is I never have to sell my stock, because no matter what the current market is, I get the same dividends even in a down market. And so imagine if I had to retire today, I wouldn't have to sell any of my stock. I would just live off of the dividends and the options income without having to worry about little blips and downturns like we're going through now. And another reason I love being a dividend investor is that in a down market, you actually get the bonus of even higher yields to buy into. And so it turns out the downturns are actually the best time to buy or start a new position. And so the lucky thing is, because I still have some active income coming in, I'm able to reinvest my dividends and my options income at these lower prices, which means higher yields. And so being a dividend investor for me is a win-win-win. I win when the market is down because yields go up. I win when the market is up because I can rotate and harvest some of the gains that I have. And I even win when the market is flat, because while growth stocks don't move, my dividends keep paying out. So I hope that helps you think through this time and gives you a little bit of confidence so that you don't cash out during this dip. Well, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this dividend income update. And if you want a richer real-time experience with me, you can always follow me on Instagram or Twitter. And if you're doing your own research using Seeking Alpha, feel free to find the link below to subscribe if you want, no pressure. And as always, I encourage you to do your own research, then implement and learn by putting it into practice. And as a reminder, I'm not a financial advisor. So keep in mind these videos are for entertainment and inspiration only. I'll see you on the flip side.